Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptonite TA. Today I'll be going through Ricky's picks. So we've got all of them up here ready to go. First one was SUTER. I can't even pronounce that anyway. The tickers up here, coins there. So what am I looking at here? I can see that it's fairly newly listed on KuCoin here, so maybe we can get some more information on a lower time frame. I don't really like trading something with such low data because I don't know, your chances of this mooning and absolutely skydiving down are probably 50-50. So just looking at this, if I was to trade this, I'd probably be looking for some sort of buy, probably where it is right now anyway. So it has come into that little buy zone here. Can we W out? I mean, it is making a bullish divergence in histogram here, so we could see it Wing right here. Getting some bullish divergence of RSI. I wouldn't mind buying this, but it would probably be a risk to this low. Volume is pretty similar to what happened here, so we could see it W up here and continue on higher. If it does break, this will probably be resistance here. Sorry, not resistance, support, and we could find some support down here too. We can see that Willie is oversold. What is OBV showing us? See, OBV is in the negatives. See, we got up here was when money was pouring into the asset, where money is coming out of this asset now. So I don't know what to make of this. If I was, I'd probably be taking a very small position on this. But yeah. Moving on to the next one is SNX. This one is actually not too bad. I do want to wait for it to kind of come back down into my buy zone. Indicators aren't looking too bad. I would like it to come a little bit more into oversold. What's the histogram showing us? Yeah, we could see, yeah. I would like it to come back down to these lows. If I did want to enter in on a smaller time frame, I'll probably be looking at another somewhere between, what's that, 845 sats or 703 sats, somewhere in there. We might have a gap somewhere here, but yeah, this would probably be like another little buy zone here. So I'd probably wait for it to come back down into here, see if it can make like a nice little Adam and Eve bottom. But on the longer time frame, I don't mind buying this because it is in the long-term buy zone. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is this big notch in volume profile, where if we do break this low, we're more than likely going to come back down and probably come back to this high somewhere here. What's a weekly show us? No, not much at all. Not really much data. But anyway, so yeah, if it does come back down into there, yeah, I wouldn't actually mind buying in this little green zone, risking to that low. If it does break, that's my stop loss anyway. Moving on to the next one, ZEC. So if we have a look, I've drawn a fib study of high to low. It did come into our buy zone, and this is what I was talking about the Adam, kind of the Adam and Eve bottom. So it's come up, retraced down into the green zone, made a little bounce back, and this is our little Adam and Eve, and I can guarantee you that's a nice little W right there. Yeah, there we are. Nice little W breakout, and that's what I want to be looking for again. So yeah, nice little pullback. This would have been your entry here. what have I got? So if we did play that breakout, up 36%. But if I have a look, histogram has made a higher high. There is an M there. The bulls, actually the bears are still in control, but the bears are falling asleep. So we could see another push higher to test this top here. Is it really worth from here buying up to that top is 30%. My risk reward for this is not really that great. If I do want to trade it, I'd be looking for a risk reward. So if I'm risking, if I want a reward to the top there, where is my 2 to 1? So yeah, if I can keep going a bit more. So yeah, I'd need price to come back down to this purple line here, which is 49.50 roughly sats. But that's what I'm looking at anyway. Looking for this AB equals CD kind of type of move. But if I can reload back into this, if I can buy back into this green zone here, I wouldn't mind loading up again. But don't be surprised if this does make a move higher. Moving on to the next one, ENJ. This is kind of already taken off. This is, for me, this is not a buy. Price here, from here to here, has made a higher high, where in histogram, it's unless we can get some sort of parabolic move up, where it can invalidate this high here, it's yeah, it's not looking bullish to me anyway. RSI is still not finished. The bulls are falling asleep here, so we've got this volume bar making a high, while you can see price has made higher highs while volume has not. So if I draw a line from here to here, you can see price making higher highs, volume is not, same as histogram. So my risk reward on this is not that great. If we zoom, yeah, you can see here as well on a weekly that that the bulls are falling asleep. So volume here, you can see price is making higher highs overall, but we're not seeing that in volume. All it's going to take is one bear to come here and annihilate this high on volume. Yeah, everything's kind of in no man's land here on the weekly, but I can see where we are on a higher time frame. Yeah, okay, we're not even there, not even to the 382 yet. So we could see this push up to the 382. Price is still making higher highs, but internal indicators are not. So I'll probably stay out of this one. Moving on to WAXP. This one I'm really liking. If we do a little fib study off a low to high, you can see that we're in the buy zone. On the daily chart, RSI is oversold, Wheelie is oversold as well, showing bullish divergence. Histogram looking really nice, showing us a nice bullish divergence. I would like to see this nice little W come into Williams percentage R here, but you can see here that in volume the bulls are stepping up. So you can see price is still making lower lows, while green, the bullish volume, is starting to step up. So if I can get an entry somewhere here, a nice little W, that would be quite nice. So this will be definitely a one to look to buy. Not sure what to make of this wick here, but I do like this for a short-term play anyway. Chart's looking pretty good. Moving on to this one. I wasn't sure which one it was. It was Edgeware or Edgeless. I don't know what the ticker is for it because I can't find it. Let's have a look. So the ticker is EDG. Yeah, that's the one, EDG. All right. It looks like very little volume traded on Bittrex. What else are the exchanges? Hit BTC. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know. EDG, BTC. If you're trading it on Bittrex, the Bittrex chart looks actually a bit better. OBV looks like it's ramping up. Someone's stepped up in volume, wanting to buy here. If you did want to buy this, my location-wise, it's actually not too bad where it is now. But if I'm looking at a stop loss, it would probably be a few sats below this 80 sat range. Internal indicators looking not too bad. OBV is looking really great. Will we see it come back down? Possibly. You could probably get a fill in somewhere in this area here. But overall, I wouldn't mind nibbling on this and risking to the low. Next, KSM. This for me it's a little bit too much. Too far, too fast. We could see this potentially go up a little bit higher, where it could paint us a nice bearish divergence. So we could see something like this, where we're price making higher highs, and then our internal indicators are not. We can see that it's overbought. Williams percentage is overbought. RSI is overbought. The bulls are still in control. Bears haven't showed up just yet. If we are to go into a lower time frame, because this looks like it's fairly newly listed. So on the 4 hour, the bears have woken up here. Histogram has made a lower low. So we could actually see maybe like a little push higher, but for me, the risk reward for this is a little bit too much. So if I was to buy here, where would my risk be? I don't know. And if it's going to double top to the heights here, yeah, the risk reward is less than 50-50. So you're risking 75% for like a 25% move. I'd like to wait for this to come back down a little bit. So if I'm looking to buy, I'd probably look for somewhere around this range up to here. I'd like to see it come back down into this zone here. So this is previous price structure in here acting as support. So I wouldn't mind loading up in here. The volume profile point of control is in this area. So yeah, moving on to the next one. Link. I'm sure many people talk about this one. On the daily, the histogram has made a higher high. Current markets are a little bit overbought. We could see this kind of trade sideways move to higher highs. If I go on the weekly, you can see clearly that if this does break higher, kind of touching like a double top, our momentum indicators aren't really how would I say, showing confluence of moves higher. It is looking heavy. It is showing signs of bearish divergence, obviously not confirmed yet. The bulls are slowly falling asleep. The bears are still in control on the weekly. But basically, we're making higher highs in price, but volume is not really showing that. If I was to be a long-term buyer, you can see the point of control is somewhere around the 5,000 or 5,300 sat range. I don't know what the story is behind this. I know a lot of people talk about it. I just trade the charts, but you can see where I'd be a long-term buyer. Somewhere in this green zone, I'd want to wait for it to come back down. Am I really willing to risk this double top? I don't know. I'd have to see price. I'd have to see what price does here in a few months' time. But you can see here it's made this nice little cup and handle. So if I was to do from there to there, it just made it above that 618 there. But you can see the cup, the handle, and the breakout here. But I don't know. Could this make higher highs? Probably. Internally, it might not. My risk reward for this one is a little bit too high. But yeah, short term, I don't know. Short term, you've probably missed the boat here. Short term, where the time to enter this was in here. You can see where it came into this buy zone here between the 618 and 786 price. So if you did buy in here, you would have been up like 58%. But anyway, you can see that it's coming back up to this double top. Whether it resolve bullishly or bearishly, I have to wait to tell. Volume, let's have a look. You can see both bulls and bears are falling asleep here, so this is going to be a difficult one to call. Let's have a look on a lower time frame. Yeah, even on all time frames, they're all falling asleep. If anything, the bears are more awake than the bulls. So this, if I could short this, I'd probably be looking at short position. Say if it's currently where it is now. Risk to the high. Can I get a 2? That's where my 2-1 would be. But even the short doesn't really work out anyway. But yeah, for me, too far, too fast. You can see the absolute parabolic move. The hype on this has been pretty incredible. So yeah, that is Link. Moving on to MKR. I think this is marker. Is it? Yeah, marker. Sorry. Still half asleep here, so yeah, I wouldn't mind buying into this. I just don't know what to make of these wicks and tails. Generally, the rule is wicks and tails like to be eaten. So, do we see a price come down all the way down to, 0.013 sats? Possibly, but if I was trading this, I'd probably risk to this low right here. If we were to trade this on a shorter time frame, we'll do a little fib study off of this low to this high. See whoever got filled there on the 618, we could come back to roll over here, make a nice little W and move higher. So that's on a lower time frame anyway. I'm looking at this. Geez, yeah, I don't know what the hell to make of these. That's yeah, I'd probably be just trading this on a lower time frame. Those wicks and tails are way too out of control. I don't know, big whales having majority share of it. But yeah, I'd like to see this somewhat. If we can come back down here, get filled, that'll create a nice little W here. What's the percentage on returns here? So if we do take a long position from the 618, risk to the top. Sorry, not risk to the top. Reward will be to the top. Risk to these bottoms here. So that's actually not too bad. The 2-to-1, what would the 2-to-1 be? Yeah, I'd risk that. 2-to-1's even down here, but I reckon we'll get price coming back up to here, which would make it like nearly a 4-to-1 risk reward. So yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a little nibble at marker. Moving on to KNC. We are creating like a nice little cup and handle like we did on Link. So OBV is looking very, very nice. Getting confluence in the histogram. What's this like on a higher time frame? Oh yeah, OBV is looking really nice. Kind of in no man's land here in the Willy RSI as well. So this could be like a nice little short-term trade. I'm sure this is sitting at like a 50%. 50%. So yeah, price is holding that 50%. So if I was to trade this, actually, it's not looking too bad. So if I did want to trade this, I'm risking that the 3 higher lows there. So I'd be my stop loss would be somewhere maybe a few sats below that. So if I did buy this currently, where could I see price go to? So we could potentially get a nice little, say if we bought here, risk to reward would be to the 618, risk to this low, we get a 2-to-1. Yeah, we get actually a 3-to-1. So that's actually not too bad. I wouldn't mind trading this. Let me have a look what we've got in volume here. So volume is 3.189. Alright, so the bulls are dropping off slightly here. We could get another little entry. Let me have a look. We could get an entry here on a lower time frame. So if that's an hourly, yeah, we could get an entry from these candle body highs right here. So maybe look to get a fill on the 67.30. Yeah, that's KMC or KNC, sorry. Moving on to Luna. So again, yeah, internal indicators on the daily doesn't look too bad. Waiting for it to come into this green zone. So if I could see price, kind of come back down into here somewhere, W out. Maybe buy this little breakout here. But for now, Williams percentage R, the gap between the 13 EMA and the Williams percentage R are a little bit too wide. Willie is kind of in no man's land, getting no signals from histogram. Not much from RSI. I'd like to see RSI in the oversold area. We zoom in, maybe on a lower time frame. Can we see anything? Yeah, we could see a move, maybe a bounce higher, and then come back down again. I don't see much happening. Yeah, we could see a move higher. We could see a move higher. But yeah, I'd like to wait for this on a daily to come back down here to set up a nice W. I want to see a bit more structure and price. All right, moving on to CKB. This is kind of the same as Luna. You can see that it's actually developed a little bit more. So if I can see a nice little W on here, get that as a low, get that as a low for a move higher. yeah, not much really to say on this. Yeah, you can see prices making lower lows while the indicators are not. The 4-hour doesn't look too bad, but I'd like to see a little bit more price structure on a higher time frame. So yeah, that's that. Moving on to poly. I think I did trade this from the right shoulder. I'm still in this trade. I remember I either bought on the yellow line. I can't remember anyway. This will be a nice long-term trade for me anyway. If we get rid of this inverse head and shoulders, you can see that I've done a fib study from low to high. We're currently still in this buy zone. Internal indicators are turning upwards, which I like, especially on the daily. OBV is looking very nice. Bullish divergence in history and bullish divergence in the Williams percentage. We're getting a bullish div in RSI as well. This one I would not mind even risking to this low here. So if we did a long position from current price, this would probably be a 50-50. Nearly a 2-to-1. But anyway, I'm looking at this on a longer term trade where the potential growth for this is pretty phenomenal. So when you look at the bottom being formed here, it's actually quite nice. So potential profit is unlimited here. So if I can get off a free position and let this coin do its thing, you can even see on a longer time frame, weekly, too bad. So yeah, that is poly. Moving on to Neo. Neo actually looked quite nice here. So you can see this nice little came into the reload zone supported by the 786 here. On the daily, we could probably see it come back down and test these lows. But if we were to do like a risk reward study, you can see why this is actually quite nice and tasty. So if our reward is to this high here, our risk would be to the low. You know, this is like a 5, nearly a 6-to-1 risk reward. So I'm quite liking this trade. I mean, if you wanted to even trade this on a lower time frame, wait for it. So whoever traded this and got filled in on this candle was was pretty lucky, which is so yeah. If you wanted to wait for it to come back down or buy here, I don't know, whatever your trading plan tells you to do, that's what you stick to. For me, I'd like a nice little FU move back down into this zone, risk to the low, like you guys saw. 6-to-1 risk reward is pretty nice. If this trade did become profitable, if we did risk to these highs, it's a 51% gain. If you're looking at it from a bigger perspective, we'll do like a fib study from high to low. Let me just get rid of this 50% level. So looking at taking profit somewhere in that red zone, potential profit from current price now is about 85 to the 618 and 113 to the 786. So that's actually not too bad. I'm quite liking where it is on a lower time frame. You could possibly get a nice 50% move there on Neo. Moving to HT Hubei token. So right now it's kind of flagging off this 382. So you can see it's flagging. So we can potentially have, you know, risk to this low here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 lows to play with. Target would be at D, where the 1618 is. I'm actually quite liking this one. So if I could trade like a nice little So somewhere in this, like a nice little ABCD move. Stops would be very tight on this because we are flagging off this 382. If we resolve bullishly, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'd show you guys my bot method, but it's it might be a little bit too much to explain. Actually, it's Brian Beamish's bot method. So, yeah, could we see this one flagging here off this 382 and making more higher highs? Very possible. Internal indicators. We are getting somewhat convergence in the indicators. The bears are slowly ramping up here. So if we do lose these lows, then we should be coming back down between this 618 and 786, which kind of represents where that POC is anyway, right here. So we could see price roll over, come back to visit these candle body highs right here. So yeah, this is a little bit more of like a day trader's trade or a trader's trade. If you're a long-term investor, a little bit dangerous here, but again, whatever your trading plan tells you to do, that's what you do. Moving on to BNB, I did trade this on, I think it was a weekly I traded this. So I traded this nice little double bottom here. I can't remember how much I got off this. It would have been, yeah, alright, it wasn't really much anyway, but yeah, we have kind of triple bottomed here. This really long wick, I think, needs to be resolved. Should we come back down? Quite possibly. Wicks and tails do like to be eaten. So if we're looking to enter this on a lower time frame, fib study off this, swing low to high, you can see that it hasn't even gotten down to this 382 yet. I'd like to probably be a buyer somewhere in between the 618 and 786. We do have this long cant, this long wick. Bulls and bears are falling asleep. The coin was overbought an RSI bearish divergence there. Histogram did make a higher high, so we could potentially bounce off this 382 if we can W off this. So if we come back down to this 382 and we can make like a bullish case here, not a nice little W, but if we come back here and we're kind of emming out, we could see price come back down into this zone here. So right now, as a day trader, I'd probably be, or a long-term investor, sorry, would be waiting for this to come back down. Looking at it on a longer time frame, you can see that, let me just get rid of a few of these. So yeah, you can even see on the weekly that the bulls are falling asleep here. Yeah, so I'd like to kind of wait for this to come back down on that lower time frame, come into our buy zone. That's probably what I'll be doing and risking to this low. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing anyway on BNB. For the last one is Tezos. I think we're a little bit late to the party here. We are getting close to that double top. The bulls are falling asleep in volume. You can see here on this bar here, price making higher highs while volume is not. Let's see histogram. Wow, okay. It has broken higher, this bar, but this bar is still in print on the daily. If this bar finishes above this high, I could probably say that we will probably be going up and testing this top. Double tops usually end up rolling over and coming back down, but you can see currently we are overbought. RSI is overbought. For me, this is more of a wait and watch. The time to be a buyer was when it was off this 618 here. And I'm pretty sure there's a nice little W here in price. If I can change this to a line chart, you can see that. beautiful W. That's incredible. Actually, that's really, really nice. So how this would have been played, you can see that this was a trader's trade, man. So you can see that this is a nice W. That's the breakout level. So someone would have been buying this breakout level. We'll go back to a candlestick chart. But that would have been a really beautiful buy zone right here. So that would have been, this would have been potentially at that 3-bar fractal. The buy signal would have been at the top of this. But anyway, too far, too fast. So what we're going to do is do a fib study from low to high. Because this hasn't still finished its move higher, we could potentially see a higher. So you'd move this fib to wherever it would be going higher. So even if it was at this double top or whatever. But for now, we're going to be working off here, off this high. So I'd probably be looking at somewhere in the 382, see if we can get a pullback and a move higher. But we still need to see what price structure does. If we W out here, consolidate bullishly or consolidate bearishly, we still have to find out. Which, in case if it did resolve bearishly, this between the 618 and 786 would be my target. So yeah, that concludes the TA session, guys. Hopefully that didn't go too long. Let me know what other coins you want me to chart. Leave a comment below. And don't forget to leave a like, guys. Cheers. Thank you.